All right, we are back with another edition. This time, Georgia playing Marshall. A big win. I wouldn't say a big win, but
A
a
win.
decent win. Um, they looked well doing it. Um, I'll just give you my biggest takeaway before I throw it to you. I heard someone else say this, so I'll give them credit for saying it. But this was the smoothest win Georgia's had in over a year, year and a half. I mean, even in 23, when they played like a Ball State, it wasn't pretty. They played with their foot a lot. It wasn't until about the second or third quarter where they looked like the competent team that we all thought they would be. This game, maybe it's because it was the first game and you're playing a lesser opponent, but they took care of business. They looked hungry. They played hard. They played fast. Uh, Execution outside of the 6 punts, I think that's due to being vanilla on offense. Played really well and executed and did what they were supposed to do. So that's my overall takeaway.
Um, as far as the game goes, yeah, it was good to see Georgia. I mean, it's 21 to nothing pretty much before you could, get to your seat. So it was good to see Georgia break the trend of starting slow, even with, like you said, even with a lesser opponent. So that part was good. It was good to see some of the young guys. So all that was good. I would say there's some areas that I mean, yeah, I mean, we took care of Marshall and great win or good win and all that. But there's some areas that I would say that we maybe are going to talk about, but um, that short yardage, I think, is still a real issue. And I think Georgia's whole offense is obviously predicated on the run. You're probably going to run into some opponents throughout the year that's going to be able to stop that run. Then can we rely on Gunner's arm? Don't know. So those are some things that I would just, and then I think we also waste downs in the red zone. So all in all, I would say yes. Georgia came out, did exactly what they should have done, took care of it, and never put the game in doubt. And excited to see them. And we can talk about other things specifically. But the one thing I would say is City of Athens has to do a lot better, man. That getting there from Atlanta metro area, finding parking that you're not going to have to pay $50 for, um, and then the traffic patterns getting out of there. It a beautiful day in Athens and enjoyable, but they're making Athens, the city of, is making it more difficult to enjoy a Saturday in Athens. They really are.
Well,
Unnecessarily so.
let's put that
And
in the
they're not solving
miscellaneous.
anything.
Well, let's put that in the miscellaneous and talk about the game. Um, anyway, yeah, let's. I have something to complain about as well with the game day atmosphere uh, as a whole. Well, let's talk about the game. Um, I guess to me the thing that one of the other takeaways I had was the defense guys flashing, making plays. Gabe Harris, Chris Cole, Braylon Wilson, Christian Miller, Elijah Griffin. It's good to see Ellis Robinson out there playing. Zachariah Branch, or I don't wait, Zachariah or Zion. They both have Z names.
Zion's a safety, right?
Yeah,
Zachariah.
I thought he played well. DeMelo Jones played well, which I was kind of looking for him. Um, CJ Allen. I mean, there's a bunch of dudes. They're not. And last year, I think the biggest complaint from Georgia fans was the defense was soft and slow. I don't think that's going to be the case this year.
No, the one thing that stood out watching them in person is, I mean, yeah, we got some size on the defensive line, but maybe not as much size as we've had, maybe,
Right.
but guys that are extremely quick that can extend and find the ball. Gabe Harris, I mean, up until now, I was surprised. Number one, he's changed his number. There's been a ton of new players, so we didn't grab a program, and it took a while to kind of catch up. But
Yeah.
Gabe Harris used to be 28 or 29.
29.
They had him, I would say, more than half of his snaps was hand in the ground defensive tackle as much as anything. He's definitely gained some weight, gained some pounds. So I'm excited to see he is extremely quick. And then Elijah, like you said, Elijah Griffin, but the guy that popped or flashed on defense was Raylan Wilson to me.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, but good defensive performance. I think if you get an offensive line that can just mash somebody, but then again, Georgia can rotate out. So I feel after watching the game, I actually feel better about the defense and specifically the defensive line. I just hope that we have enough bottom to us that we can sustain over a course of the season, because they seem lighter to me. So on offense, we can talk about that later, but defensively, Raylan Wilson absolutely flashed to me.
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaway really from the entire game was how good of our defense was. I mean, they only had 42 yards, and whether that's when that was 42 yards up till the third quarter. So, and then they got a big gain, and that was it. It was like 72 yards before they put in like the fourth string guys.
Fast, physical, and full of effort.
Yeah,
That would be what I would describe the defense as.
I would, and to your point about them being lighter, I think that's where all of football is going, where these guys are lighter and faster. And so it's something that we're just going to have to get used to. And I mean, given week one, have you seen any team that will mash, that plays Georgia, is going to mash them?
I don't know. I'd have to watch more, and I always say, until you get a month into the college football season, you really don't know what you have.
Yeah.
So far, I mean, if you asked me that question so far, I would say no.
Right.
I came away from that game feeling pretty good about the defense. I really did.
Yeah, as did I. All right, to the offensive side, here's my run game has significantly improved. I mean, I know people that are not Georgia fans will probably be like, "How could you even tell that it's against Marshall?" But who do we play the second to last game of the year? UMass. We couldn't run the ball on UMass.
No, we struggled. Yeah.
So, to me, it has greatly improved. Monroe Freeling, I think healthy. He definitely improved just off of one game, obviously. But he has improved. Bo Hewley played well. Micah Morris played well. Drew Bobo played really well. Juan Gaston. He's, I know he got hurt and only played like 2 or 3 series, but he looked good to me. And then Ernest Green, I don't know. He's, I don't know. I just saw him get beat a lot. Now, he made some good plays rewatching the game, but he got beat, and it was noticeable in person as well. So, offensive line, I feel pretty good, and we're 7 deep. So hopefully, they stay healthy. And, should be okay. And the running back by committee, I mean, Nate Frazier had a really easy day. He got 4 yards of pickup every time he touched the ball. I feel like he did fine. And so did Dwight Phillips, I came away probably with him.
He flashed.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, it looked that not fourth down, it was a first down, but that touchdown, I mean, he saw the hole and he hit it and he was gone. I mean, I've never seen someone that fast from the backfield before.
He's explosive.
Yeah.
And him and Branch, talking about offense, him and Branch to me add an element, a potential element. We saw it on Saturday against Marshall, so we'll see if that transitions over to the Southeastern Conference play. But in my opinion, Georgia's been missing some of that explosiveness, and I believe Zachariah Branch and Dwight Phillips kind of, and Frazier too, if he gets loose.
Yeah.
I think they can add some punch or some lightning to the Georgia's offense. So I would agree. As far as the offensive line, I thought for Bobo, and he got to play some last year, but being a center in especially at this level, it's difficult. And I thought he did extremely well. And I think that settles an offensive line is when the center has a good command of what the hell is going on and tells everybody what they need to do. It not only helps, obviously, the other offensive line, but it helps the quarterback out too. So I thought Bobo did really well. We're big. Offensive line is definitely big.
Yeah.
But our whole offense is predicated on the run. It is, man, if we get some guys that are some other teams that can stop us on the run, I know it's under development. We got a lot of new receivers, and there's some elements to it, and we did keep it vanilla. There's some elements to it that could be interesting in the red zone with our receivers. I thought they did a really good job of blocking downfield.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to play under Kirby Smart if you're not going to block as a wide receiver.
Yesterday was exceptional to me. They did really. I thought they did really good effort. It was really. I'm obviously glad to see not a lot of drops, but more importantly, the effort and the blocking, as both from the tight ends and the wide receivers. That's what helped the run game.
Yeah. And then obviously Gunner adds a different element to this. I know we were very vanilla, and I'm going to be negative on Gunner here in a minute, but he adds another element to this offense where he's able to run, he can take off, he can shed guys, he can do stuff with his legs that Carson couldn't. I don't even think Stetson could really do with his legs. He's a different type of runner than Stetson, right?
More of a power runner.
Yeah, more of a power runner, and just smart with the ball. So that part of Gunner I really appreciate. The throwing, there were some I didn't see it on TV, but in person, if you were there in person, and if you were watching downfield on pass plays, he had some guys running wide ass open. At least 3 or 4 guys that he missed. And I know that happens. It's the first game of the season. There's going to be mistakes. But there were some guys that were wide open. Especially, I think it was Dylan Bell on the Zachariah Branch little dump pass that he took for a touchdown. Dylan Bell was going wide open right in the middle of the field in between the hash marks. And they weren't clouding them either, the safeties. So when the run game isn't working and we're getting stuffed, when we have to throw and Gunner has to, put the team on his back and carry it down the field, that's where I get worried. And he's predicated off of the play action pass. He's not going to sit in the pocket and throw it and dice it and death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's not his style, which, that can win you a national championship. I'm not saying it can't. But there's going to be a time in games where in order for Georgia to win, they're going to have to pass the ball. And they're going to have to take it through the air. And they're going to have to throw 270-ish yards. And I don't know if you can count on Gunner for that. He could prove me wrong. He has enough arm talent. But he throws on a rope. And it's fast, quick, and it's low, or straight line.
Well,
it's not arch.
We've got really three, I guess, 2.5 games that, as a sample size, right, that really matter. Where but so I'll reserve judgment on that. But I agree with you. It's predicated on the run, and if we're not running, he's gonna have to be able to pass the ball. I think the question's still out. Like you said, you saw it more than I did it when we were both at the game. I was watching more of the play. You saw the guys running open more than I did. So, I don't know. We'll see about that. It's more to me. Do we have explosive guys? Zachariah Branch could be a difference maker. There's some other receivers that could be difference makers, but he's going to have to settle into this role. And I think we're going to have to be smart about how we run him, because he was at one point during the game our leading rusher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was. So, and that's the thing. And then, you didn't really – Colby Young got one catch. Noah Thomas, I don't know if he got a catch or not. The guys that we were told during the offseason outside of Branch that were alphas, that were dudes – they weren't really on display, and which is fine. It's Marshall, and will we see him this upcoming Saturday?
Probably
not. Yeah. I have no idea. We only ran 6, but that's what I was. If you see the video, herky jerky, I had to grab that to make sure I was right. We ran 6 different formations with Gunner at quarterback. 6. That's pretty crazy to think about, because they probably have over 50 at least, and we only ran 6. So it was a very bread and butter type of day on offense. And I think the biggest takeaway for us, I think both of us agree on this, playing for third and short, this is not a winning formula. And I don't know if that was because we're running bread and butter plays that are only going to get 4 or 5 yards, but just the third and short with Bobo, it's maddening. That's why I'm not a...
Well, if we're going to transition to that, that's the biggest complaint that I have about Bobo's offense to begin with, is he always plays for third and manageable, third and short, instead of, I don't know, instead of worrying about... screw third down. We're going to go get 30 on second down or 30 on first down. It is more about playing and managing third down. So that's one thing. And then, I don't know. I think Georgia against Marshall, I'm kind of concerned about it. We had a lot of short yardage issues again, in my opinion. And then in the red zone, wasting, I don't know how else, to me, wasting downs. We're wasting downs. And maybe we're not trying to show too much because we've got big wide receivers and tight ends that I think should be able to do damage in the red zone. But we didn't, I don't know. I'm not asking Bobo to get in his bag of tricks, but what I am asking is don't waste downs in red zone. That to me seems like just a bad general principle on offense.
I would agree with that. Here's my thing on the short yardage thing and why I'm not totally worried going further into the season, and it's a small sample size, but when they know what you're doing and it's a numbers game and you're playing vanilla, more than likely they're going to be able to stop it if they're a competent coaching staff and competent players. And these guys are Division I guys. So I would think that the numbers would say that you're probably not going to get many yards on 3rd and 2, and you're running it right up the gut. Though that's something to keep an eye on. I'm not totally worried about it when you're playing this vanilla.
Well, if it was just this one game, I wouldn't be worried about it. But whenever I've
seen it was all last season.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I've seen it before, it's just like, ooh. got to pay attention and see if that's going to be something that's going to rear its head throughout the season. So I don't know. I'm not making a declarative statement. I'm just saying I saw it again Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So overall, I would say it's a game. I wouldn't. That would be my grade coming away from it.
I would say B plus, A minus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say pretty average. Executed, did the job, did what you had to do. All right. Now time for miscellaneous stuff. So you complained about parking. I totally agree. I think parking, though. I don't know about the intramural fields. That's another thing.
Why would you have those shut down? I mean,
Maybe
there's a reason.
maybe because we showed up later than
Later?
I don't know. I
We
didn't
were
see
there at
anything
12
online that
o'clock,
said
bro.
that. Nothing online said, "Hey, we're gonna be closed for X reason." So,
And it
I don't
hadn't
know.
been raining. I mean, right? This week it wouldn't have trashed the intramural fields.
Yeah, I don't know about that part I don't understand. But hopefully that should be fixed by the time Alabama rolls into town. To me though, the biggest thing was the cheerleader. Now look, I want to give him credit. And I give Georgia credit. They have tried to make it better. I don't know why I'm grabbing the mic because maybe I want to be the cheerleader. I understand they have tried to be very forward thinking in engagement with the fan base, and I know it's hard. It's a tough job to do because it's a football game. It's not like any other sporting event, especially in the SEC. People are watching every play, every snap. They live and die by it. And, playing Snapchat filters at a baseball game is much different than a Snapchat filter at a Georgia football game. Totally understand. Got to fix that. But there are things that they have done better. Music has gotten better. They've tried to do things to keep the fans engaged. But dude, the cheerleader. By the way, not only was it us in our section, I saw on Reddit people talking about it, about how bad it was.
It just seemed out of place, and there was no congruency. Like it was not. You know what I mean? Like just random. You're talking about the random cheers where he's trying to get the crowd pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just strange. Like it wasn't. Nobody knew what the heck we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, there was there's no tradition set for that, so I understand that. Like, again, I see people trash on the Spell Georgia cheer, but that's been around since God knows how. That's probably been around since like the 1920s, probably. Who knows? And back then, it was hard for them to spell. So, I get people getting upset about that, but there's no tradition with that cheerleader. His voice is just not any good to get me hyped up, and it's just is dead. So I don't know what they have to do to figure that out. I get what they're trying to do. I get that they're trying to keep the engaged and loud, but there were groans inside the stadium. So maybe scrap that, or take that idea and try to make something better out of it. I don't know, but to me, I would hate to fire the kid because he's a college student.
It's not firing. He's just being told. Well, I mean, somebody thought that was a good idea. He's executing what someone's asked him to do. But
Maybe he really wants to do it. He has 93,000 people. All their attention.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I understand the purpose, but I don't know how. It seemed really awkward and bizarre. So I don't know. I'm not going to talk about too much in-game experience. What I can tell you, people coming from Atlanta who are wanting to have a nice day in Athens, the city of Athens could do a little better job of making it more convenient. And they would be doing themselves such a favor to get people off the friggin' streets, man, and cars.
Yeah.
But you're forcing people to drive around to look for parking because you close off so many places and close off so many streets and funnel cars and areas. I'm sure there's a plan, and I'm sure somebody with civil engineering degrees have probably thought this through and know more than I do. But from the outsider, it looks like, pardon my French, a clusterfuck. It looks like somebody, I mean, drew it up and they were high on methamphetamine. It makes no sense what they're doing.
Well, the roads near campus and downtown are small roads, and they can't handle that many cars.
And then you make it
one
difficult
place.
for people to find parking.
Right.
And you shut down areas that people are normally accustomed to being able to park at, and you funnel everybody closer in, and then getting out of there, the closed streets down, it's not great. They could do and I'm sure that was the first game and all that kind of stuff, but they could do a lot better for people. I feel bad for people who are coming all the way from Jessup, Georgia, and then driving back home after that was a 3:30 game. I mean, and we didn't get home. We live in the Atlanta metro area, and we left early. Sorry, we talk about
In the fourth quarter.
It was fourth quarter, but we left before the mass chaos of everybody trying to get out of there, and we still didn't get home to it was after 9:00.
Right, yeah. There's some stops in there.
That's a long day to have to, I mean, and it was a great day, don't get me wrong, but it longer than necessary because of inconveniences thrown up by, I'm assuming, the city of Athens.
City of Athens Athletic Department and the university.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm sure there's enough, but got to make it easier for people to come over and root for the Dawgs, and make it easier for them to be able to find parking and not create all the congestion to get in and out of the city of Athens.
Yeah, and also I'd like to point one more thing. I know it's Marshall. Next week is Austin P. I know they're not exciting, student section, but show the fuck up. It's not that hard. You only get 6 of these, and they go by really fast. Let me tell you, I know. They go by really fast. I was happy to go to one during COVID. So just show up and do your part. And, against Marshall and Austin Peay, you can leave third, fourth quarter. No one's going to hold. I know we don't have Steven.
Was that a student section over?
Over there in the end zone, in the west end zone, that is the student section from the recruiting side over to section 101, the visitor side. That is the student section. And if you go, I'm sure people noticed it on TV, a sliver of it, a little slice of pizza of it, was empty. And and I get people want to sit in the actual student section, the real one, but if they redirect you and you have to sit in the end zone, sit in the end zone. It's not that bad of a seat. Just do your job. That is part of going to the University of Georgia, is going to the football games. And then party. And then party before, party after, and Sunday regroup and go to school on Monday. That's how this works. It's not hard. I don't know how it can be so complicated for so many people not to understand. And whatever. I'm starting to get fired up because I'm starting to complain about all the girls and who sit there. They get there 2-3 hours early. They get all dressed up, dolled up, look all cute for everybody, and they take their Instagram pictures pregame. Fuck, they're gone by the second quarter. Why? I don't understand that. I've never understood that. Just sit there. Even if you're bored, play on your phone. Do something. You're there. You're wasting space. Sit there. Do a better job. That's all I ask. And I don't know how many students are watching.
Opening game, and it looks bad when you're a number 5 team and it's a beautiful day and you've got a section of the stadium that's empty. Regardless, it just doesn't. It's not a good look. And so Kirby's talked to fans and alumni about this. don't start taking this shit for granted. And be lackadaisical,
Yeah.
and maybe some of that we should all look at ourselves. Maybe some of that's creeping in, and if a viewer has followed us and watched this long, they can say, "Well, wow, these guys are super negative." We're not negative. We're we want our team to be perfect. We know we're never going to reach there, but there's things that we see that we think could be improved both on the field and off the field, and it's because we care. So, anyway,
Yeah, I care too much, and I rather care, as Michael Scott would say, I rather be known to care too much than too little. So, yeah, I just things like that bother me because whenever it's Alabama and Texas and Ole Miss, we'll have all the glitz and glam, and it'll be a++ rating across the board. That's what matters the most to me in the experience, because that game is whenever you're recruiting for the younger kids. That's the little 5-year-old kid who's their dad brought them to experience it. That's where you're recruiting. That's where you're implementing that seed, and not a good job. Poop job. So that's why I care. Damn it, I care. All right. Any final thoughts?
no, overall, good performance. They did what they needed to do and what we all expected them to do. Came away more excited about the defense than I probably was going into the season, and excited about the potential of what the offense could do. So we'll have to see how everything comes together. But no, overall, good Saturday, and excited that football is back on.
It looks like Georgia's one of the better teams in the country given week 1. But we shall see. Jury's still out on that. A long way to go till January. But thank you, Ohio State, and thank you, Florida State. We really appreciate your work. I know all the Big Ten and ACC fans and SEC haters out there were really thinking that not Georgia fans, but SEC people would be really butthurt over those 2 losses. I have to tell you, I was very happy.
Oh.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, Texas is not part of the SEC still in my mind. So win or lose, I don't really care as long as we beat them, and I hate their fans. Anyway, all right. Well, that'll be it. We'll be back probably Thursday or Friday. We'll talk about the Austin Peay game. I think early thoughts are Georgia should win. And I don't know if there's a point spread, but maybe cover. I don't know. But we'll talk about week 2, the games that sneaky. By the way, a little teaser. The biggest week, College Game Day, is not there, and not a lot of people are talking about it. But Kansas versus Missouri is back. That's a big sneaky game.
Yeah,
Sneaky. I keep an eye out on that one. All right. Well, we're back, so we'll see you Thursday.
see ya.
See ya.